Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. I mentioned the other day I needed to build me another paddle. In fact, I'm working on 2 paddles. I spared y'all the cutting all this running saws and all that. I know you don't want to listen to the saw run, but all I did was I took some cedar. Now this is an oak shaft. This was a slat that I got from a lumber mill that we did a roof on a building there, and they had a whole bundle of them that they was burning. They was just piling them in trailers. And wait, put one of them bundles on my trailer. So I brought it home, and I've got a whole stack of these things. I've used them for tomato sticks, everything. So I took it and run it through my table saw and got it down to the size I want. And I don't really know precisely. This shaft right now is 1 5/8 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And I just wound up there. I didn't shoot for a precise measurement. Now I have just cut some others that I worked them down till I've got everything pretty close to the same thickness. I will take everything smooth later. So what I'm going to do is I've got an oak shaft, a red cedar piece in the middle here on either side is symmetrical, and then I've got a 1/4 inch strip of oak out here, and then I got another cedar. The reason I'm using cedar is these paddles will get extremely heavy, and if you paddle for a long distance, that paddle will wear you out. But now you need the strength of that oak in the middle, and that's why I'm doing a laminated paddle. Y'all seen my other cedar paddle that I had? I snapped it, and y'all, the grain in it was pretty straight. I know if that grain runs off, it'll snap really easy. I had selected a piece that had probably as good a grain as I'm going to get without just shaving a limb down. And I may wind up doing that at some point, but you're talking about a lot of work to take a log, you know, that big, which it could be done. But cedar, when you start splitting it, it gets really grainy and splits up, because I've tried it making bows. In fact, I've got some pieces, 1/4 rounds up here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to glue these together and laminate them. And let me get my glue. I am going to show you, and I'm using tight bond. If y'all do any woodworking, that tight bond seems to be one of the best. Now y'all, I took the paddle that I broke and I glued it to an oak shaft, same way in the middle. I have already taken a rasp and smoothed this paddle down. Right now I'm building the end stock up here, and I've glued 2 pieces of cedar to there, and I'll cut them to shape, rasp them down like I want them. Excuse me. So I just wanted to pick y'all up and show you a little what I was doing. I'm not going to make a whole big long tutorial on how to make a paddle, but we are going to glue this together right quick. So bear with me. I don't know what I'm doing. I just do it as I go. Some of y'all surely can appreciate that. I seen y'all. I know some of you guys have to plan everything out before you ever start. If I do that, it never goes the way I plan or don't work out. I like to bend and flex with whatever's available. So I just start doing it and figure it out as I go. And for me, it works better that way. I work smoother that way. I wind up with a better finished product that way. Don't ask me why. I know in theory that don't make sense, but that's the way it is for me. Alright, we're gonna run that down. I want that glue all on here. Y'all, I have put a lot of miles on a canoe. Before I ever started my YouTube channel, I put me and a couple other guys around here, my brother-in-law and some young guys from the church, and we put in, if you look at the map, the Nanawarrior Mound is up above my house up here. It is the headwaters of the Pearl River. I have canoed from that Nanawarrior Mound all the way down almost to Jackson, which is a pretty long ways. Not all at one time. We did this in about 4 different trips. But a lot of fun just paddling and camping out on the river. I'm hoping that things work out this summer, that I can do a trip. I'm probably going to wind up doing it solo, at least the first one. I have people all the time that they call, I want to go with you when you go, and then whenever you start to go, well, I can't. So I don't plan for anybody to go with me. But anybody that wants to go is welcome to go. If you got a canoe and you live around here and you want to make that trip sometime this summer with me, holler at me. I'll be glad for you to go. And I don't care the whole everything you can carry. I carry just enough stuff to survive while I'm down there. If I get lucky and catch some catfish or whatever, I usually take some set lines and I'll put out some set hooks when I get to wherever I'm on camp, and maybe run them through that night. And Lord, the first time I ever went, y'all, I don't wear shorts much, but we was playing in the water a lot, and I had took a pair of shorts with me because my legs is white now. I just don't. I've got a lot of scars on one leg from a four-wheeler wreck I had years ago, and I just don't do shorts. I got scars and don't. Scars and bird legs, you just don't wear shorts much. So, anyway, I had put on a pair of shorts while I was down there because we was in the water playing a lot. And y'all, I got some kind of sunburnt down there. Being sunburned on the river is about one of the most miserable things you can do. But I learned to be a trooper and tough it out. That other has been glued for a while, so it's okay. But now I may go get me a. Now y'all, my intentions with this is I'm going to run this through this planer when I get done, lightly, just to level it out, and then I'll take everything else down to what I want with a rasp. So we're going to let this dry like it is right here. I took my paddle this evening, and I've just kind of roughly sketched out what I want right out here, y'all. Now I had done, but I just roughed me out a line, and we're gonna see. I hope these are dry enough to do this. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is use a rasp. I tried to use a draw knife the last time I tried to work with cedar, and cedar doesn't like a draw knife, y'all. It'll splinter real easy. So I found out that I could take this rasp and it has a fine side and a real rough side. Well, y'all, I got it shaped down just about like I like it. I flipped it over so I got it out of the frame. I've got a strip of a piece of real rough, like 60 grit. I'm using it like emery cloth. It is just a piece off of that belt grinder is what it is, and I'm going over this shaft. And I'm just trying to get some of the roughness burrs from that And then I'll go back over it with some 120 or 220, something like that. But I thought it turned out fairly nice there. I like that shaft to be fairly smooth because as I'm paddling, I let this shaft spin down right in here in my hands a lot. And that paddle steadily flips. That's just my personal style of paddling. I want everything good and round and smooth because when you're paddling, the last thing you want, especially if you're in swift water and in a precarious situation, splinter gets stuck in your hand and you go to fumbling and fooling with it, trying to dig it out. And I'll probably put a varnish on this instead of just oiling it. I had oiled it before and it done really good actually. Y'all, I ain't got nowhere to put nothing on my dad burn workbench because I got it covered with plants over here still. And I don't even know what grit this is, but y'all, I use a wore out one, and I know the light ain't real good in here. But they smoother. See how this works. I was working this handle back and forth, so I basically tapered this end down just a little bit and left this thick back here. It's just a matter of playing with that planer. Do you know what it does? But I didn't take it down a lot. I'm going to do my work with a rasp, but I'm fixing to draw my shape out here some kind of way and cut it out with a jigsaw. I went ahead and did some playing. I've got drawn out, and all I did was freehand right here, y'all. I played with it a minute off camera. I got it like I wanted it. I decided I wanted this strip of oak to stay in the whole paddle. So I just picked me a spot here, and then I come to the edge of that oak, laid this board there, and did me a trace. I did the same thing on both sides. So I'm gonna go cut this out with a jigsaw and let's see what we got. Alright, y'all, I've got this other one sanded pretty much like I wanted. It is not perfect, but I am going to take it in here just shortly, and I'm going to do them at the same time, and I'm going to, what we call down here in Mississippi, shellac it. But I do have a varnish that I'm going to put on that, so let's get this clamped in here, and I'm gonna back the camera up where y'all can see good. Right, let's see, I gotta get my jigsaw plugged up, unplug the sander. That's what we're talking about, starting off about half cocked. I didn't never know what that really meant till I started fooling with muzzle loaders. Now I know what half cocked is. Alright, let's cut this out. Y'all, I realize I am not really going for perfection here because I'm not finna start selling paddles. But this is gonna be a nice paddle now. All right, now we'll take this rasp and we'll straighten some of that stuff up. I ain't worried about it. I got a little bit of a bow in that, but they probably won't nobody ever know it but me. I got me a stick right here, and y'all, I'm gonna show you what I do with this stick. That is to wedge up under that right there so that I can work on this. And if that was bad uneven, I'd run it across that miter saw, but no more than that tight slack. I am just going to file it. I ain't good as old Sunset paddles now, y'all. If y'all follow him, that fella know he can make some paddles. There is some fine paddle makers out there, y'all. Oh. But I want to get where y'all can look at me. It's just, to me, y'all, I could go get me a nice good paddle. There's something inside of me that I want to make anything. If I can make it, I had rather make it. It don't matter if I had plenty of money. There's something satisfying about when you need something, can you make it? And it ain't just need. I mean, I had a paddle I could use, but y'all, these otter tail paddles, I fell in love with them when I started hunting last year with one. To me, they just seem to move quieter through the water. So I've got several different tools at my disposal here to work with. I do have a little hand plane, y'all, and I ain't real good with this thing. I got wood shavings up in it for starters. And it probably needs shortening. And probably needs some proper adjusting. Works a little bit. See that cedar? That's what I worry about with it. So probably what I'm going to do is take this down with this rasp. You can take this rough edge of it, and y'all, it peels some wood off. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next little while. Y'all, I'm not going to make y'all sit here and watch every bit of this. But we're just going to work on this, and then obviously I'm going to glue some blocks on the other end to do just like we did this handle. And you know that you can do a mortise and tenon T on there. And I thought about doing that. The reason that I would prefer that is, y'all, when I'm running hooks, if you've got a T like this right here, you can't hook nothing with it. But I could spin that paddle around and with a T on there, I could hook me a line and pull it up to check it. You know, if I'm in bushes and don't want to, just to see if it's baited. Now, you're not probably going to pull a catfish in with it. But you have to think about these things. What is this tool going to do for you? And that's what this is, a tool. But it's also a piece of art, man. You look how pretty we're going to make this. So, hang with me. We're going to get this worked down. Got the rough side of my rasp. Now I'm just taking wood off on these corners. And I'm going to stop here. I went and cut me a piece. I do think, y'all, I'm going to put a T-handle. I just think it would benefit me to be able to hook hooks and hook stuff, hook limbs if I need to. Because in a canoe, you don't want to be leaning out, reaching to get stuff that's just out of reach. So it's almost, you could say, a safety thing too. So that's my reason for doing that. But I'm gonna, right now I'm just rounding this handle out, and all the way down I'm leaving about, I don't know, 10 inches of it alone right here, a foot of it, so that I can do what I want to do, and then I'll work on it up to that point. So, but we're gonna get this main shaft like we want it. Once I get it down close to what I like with this, I'll flip this over and I'll start using this file side. And there's one angle that it puts a lot smoother this way here. Okay. I got a tenon, mortise and tenon. I don't know which ones anyway. I got my block right here and I scribed it. Now I'm going to tell you how I did this because it was a little bit of trial and error. I measured down to where I wanted and put a line all the way around. I took it over the table saw and I went to thickness, which is I think 1/16 of an inch of the saw blade, and I cut me a ring all the way around it with a table saw. That way it was perfect. And then I took it and let it all the way up and I cut the width of that blade on each side, and then I took a chisel, flat chisel, and I went down each one of these sides here till I got this like I wanted it. And I'm pretty close, I'm not perfect. However, you can take these files right here and you can smooth, but you have to be careful that you don't get wumpy. And I don't know whether I'm getting wumpy or not. I do know this shoulder is not flat on this part, so I'm pushing down toward the end of the paddle, not against the. So I'm probably not going to wind up with a perfect joint, okay? I'm not a professional woodworker. I know the basics. I can get the job done. It ain't going to be as pretty as somebody else. So, next step, try not to bore y'all to make a video like 2 hours long. I've got to find me a saw blade, and instead of me doing the right thing and going in there and getting a micrometer and micing this, I want one just a shad under what I'm going to be doing here, which is about this, and then I'm going to clean it on out with a, now I done marked on here. In other words, I stuck this against that and traced around it, so my hole needs to be inside my pencil line. I don't need to cut the pencil line. Okay, got that one. Alright, I think what I'm going to do right there is take a jigsaw and clean that out with that. Oh, I think that'll be my most smartest move. I'm going to have to plant some of these plants where I can have my workbench back. I can't even work on no project, y'all. Y'all, we had to have a paddle. I didn't like them store-bought paddles. Not none whatsoever. But as long as I got a somewhat tight fit, we don't want no loosey-goosey floppy-doppy. And we're going to be all right. It ain't too big. Now how I'm going... This may be time consuming here, folks, so y'all may want to go on and eat supper and whatnot, and I'll work on this, and when I get it close, I'll let y'all come back and take a look at it. How about that? We got the handle closed. Now I'm fixing to tap it down on here part of the way. I'm not going to put no glue till I get a little further and see that it ain't going to split, because it could pop half in two. And if it does, I ain't going to get all swelled up and mad about it. We're just going to make another one. But y'all, it ain't took me no great long while to make none of all of this, so this ain't no mind-boggling project. It's just a matter of having some scrap junk to work with. Now I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm probably going to pin this handle as well. I don't know, we'll see on how secure I think it is. Because like I said, I am definitely going to use this to be hooking and grabbing and pulling on stuff. I mean, I know I am. That is the reason I'm building a handle like this. Otherwise, I would glue them blocks on there and it's a lot easier. It really is. This mortise and tenon deal, but this gives me a distinct, and in fact, I may cut and put a little bit of a hook to it. I don't know. Lord, don't let this split, Lord. And y'all, I'm not getting in no big hurry and just beating on it. I'm just going to slowly tap this down. And this is another piece of oak that I'm putting on there. I probably need to get me a sacrificial piece of these blocks over there that I got from Brody to. Oh, y'all. I don't know if it's splitting up here at the top or not. It looks like it. Looks like it's trying to split. But it didn't split all the way through. And I don't have no cracks on the end. I think it's just that inside hung. So what I'm going to do is clean it up, because I had planned on rounding everything off anyway. So I'm not even going to sweat that. I'm keeping an eye on them chickens back there. I got a couple of hens that's eating eggs, and I'm slowly trying to move one out and watch them and see which one it is that's starting this. Because I done tried the golf ball trick and all of that, y'all. The golf ball trick helps a little. If you just got like 2 hens in a thing, I think that works really good, probably. That'd whack my finger. Oh, but it ain't. When you got 10 or 12 in a thing, There's one idiot that'll peck at everything in there till something breaks. I mean, that is, you know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, y'all. I think this is gonna work out for me. I do. Get it close down here where I can, and I know y'all, I tell you what, I'll bring y'all on this side where y'all look at what I'm doing. And y'all, I'm struggling to learn how to manual focus. I ain't struggling to learn how, I'm just going through the, I don't know why I word it like that, but I am going through the fight of trying to learn how to manual focus everything to make, with this Nikon camera. Now with my phone, I don't have no trouble. It focuses better, but I wind up with better videos when I use this camera here. Y'all see how that split right up here on the top, but it did not split all the way down through. So, and you see how I got. Probably what I need to do is go over there and run that through a saw, but I wanted to round everything off anyway, so I'm just gonna do it this way. Oh. I don't want no splinters getting in my fingers while I'm paddling. But y'all, I want it to look cool too and be unique. I don't want it to be nothing nowhere in the government like it. I'm sure there ain't one in our government like it. This is too good for them. Alright, let's see here. Work a little on this side now. Y'all, I got one little old rasp deal here. It's got an arched top to it here. So I may take it and put me a dimple on either side of that. I believe that's what I'm going to do, Kim. Yeah. I wonder if I could turn this up. Probably going to hit my rafters if I turn it up. Yeah, look at there. That's just how much it is too short. If I bring it over this way, though, y'all, I could still work on it a little bit. Well, sir. You know what, though? I can prop it just like that and probably do it. Yeah, oh, man, look at there. If I turn it straight up, it's too long. Well, y'all, somehow or another, I cut the microphone off while I was meddling around with the camera. But right here I got this piece of emery cloth or that grinder belt, and I'm just going over this handle where I filed out the grooves in the front. This is an old Indian trick I learned. Now, of course, when I say an Indian trick, I don't mean that derogatory. We always had a lot of respect for the Indians, and we was taught that they knew how to live off the land and knew how to do everything. So we thought they was pretty smart, I reckon. But anyway, we smoothing this handle out, and we're gonna try to get it as smooth as possible, where it don't get no splinters there in our fingers when we paddling down the river, using it to hook stuff. So when we get it slicked all up right here, we're gonna move on to another step there. So right here, we're gonna take our orbital sander and go up and down the shaft of this paddle here. Now I want this paddle as smooth as I can up and down that shaft, especially the handle and the shaft. I want to get it smooth as I can, because they ain't nothing that drives me crazier than a handle on a coffee cup having a rough spot in it, or a shaft of that paddle having a rough spot, because my hands is constantly on that, and it'll drive me absolutely nuts if it's got a burr on it or a spot on it. Now, if this paddle, you see me flexing it up and down, if it's got too much flex in it, I may laminate a piece of wood on the top or the bottom, but I don't believe I'm going to have to, but it's got enough flex in it. Now, I'm not going to be prying car doors open with it or nothing, but I was just paddling along with that other one when it popped. But anyway, we're going to get some shellac, and we're going to go over these two paddles, see if we get them. This one here, the one, it's about chin height. The other one that's clamped in the vise is just a little bit longer than that. I think it comes right on up to about my nose. And but we fixing to get them slicked up, put a coat of shellac on them. Right here I'm just comparing the two paddles, the length of them, let you see how much different the blades are on each one of them. Of course, I made the one out of the original paddle that I had just split it. This one is a little bit less paddle, but I believe it's going to do just as well. Now, I am going to make a few more paddles probably in the future. I may even make a few and try to sell them, I don't know, but I do want to make me a good beaver tail paddle. Alright, this right here ain't coffee. This is polyurethane. Now, this is a polyurethane that is for floors. Whenever I built my house, the upstairs loft up there, I put some plywood down, and I took that dragon, that torch, and I burned that floor. And this is the stuff that I bought in a gallon, or actually about a 4-gallon bucket to put on there. And I've poured what's left in this coffee can, and I just got a piece of old denim shirt I was using for patch material in there for my musket. And the top of this stuff gets hard, so I had to poke a hole in it. But now, this is a good quality polyurethane, and it don't probably take a lot to seal this paddle good, and it'll protect this wood, but it'll be a harder finish than me just rubbing oil or something on there, and it'll protect this paddle a lot better. Now, I am a fan of just putting oil on it and using natural materials. If I can keep from using a lot of chemicals, I like to do that, but this is just a better stuff to put on your paddle if it's going to be in the water as much as this will be. And like the other night, you seen that piece popped off of that paddle. It was because I took it down there and left it in that canoe, and it rained on it all night, and I just neglected it, and I glued that piece back on there. But this stuff here, I'm going to rub it all up and down this paddle good. We're going to coat the whole thing. And I know y'all would really like to know what I'm saying on there, and I've sat here while I'm filming this and recording a narration and wondered myself, what in the world was I saying? But instead of scratching the video, we just gonna talk over it and let you see what's going on, and I'm gonna edit some of this out, and let's skip on over toward the end of this. We're starting on the other paddle, and of course I've already shellacked the handle. Just look how pretty that paddle is turning out, y'all. That is a good looking paddle. I can't be more happy the way this turned out, and I'm definitely gonna make a few more paddles. It's just satisfying to take old scrap pieces of wood and glue them together and just see what you make. And And y'all, I have a love for paddling them old canoes up and down that swamp. I don't know, it's just something peaceful about it. It's something that connects me to the past, and I really enjoy it. And they ain't nothing like using something that you made yourself. Now, I could go buy a good paddle. There's better paddle makers out there, but when you build something yourself, it just has a deeper connection when you using it and when you out in the woods with it, or whatever you're doing, even when I'm making garden tools. So anyway, this is a finished product, or how it's gonna look, and I think the color turned out real good. I am extremely pleased. Well, y'all, left these paddles out here last night, let them dry good. Oh man, y'all, I'm ready to go paddling now. I'm gonna wind up making a few more. I want to make some different. I just want to experiment, and but y'all, that turned out really good. I know y'all can tell a great detail lot about it, and I may have to put a little more of that polyurethane right on there. But last night I went in there and edited part of this video. Realized I cut the mic off on the camera some way, so I just decided I would film another conclusion today instead of doing it like I narrated. But anyway, thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors Paddle Edition. We excited now to go try these out, but y'all, it's flooded right now, so I don't know, it'll be a few days before we get to paddle. Now, Mr. Jerry is supposed to be coming today or tonight, and we go frog gigging, so we may take the big canoe and try these two paddles out. I don't know yet exactly what we're gonna do, but thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors, and we'll see y'all next time. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it.